Yeah, I'm back where I'm doing very important things, which aren't very important at all. But anyways, Legendary Shez came out like yesterday, last night. So I decided to do a little review of him, I guess. Anyways, he's a red infantry dagger. Well, yeah, dagger unit with he's not really very unique in my opinion. He is a wind legendary. I can't talk of it, but he is a wind legendary unit. He's a little bit like legendary female Shez, but he can kill whatever his name is, dear God. Uh, he doesn't have the movement type advantage and other effectiveness, but he is pretty good still, in my opinion. Just not as good as all the modern units, but I made a little thing here. Okay, this annoys me that the parentheses is kind of in this box. Anyways, here's his weapon details. He gets -1 special cooldowns with brave attacks, and then inflicts -12 on all foes in 3 columns and 3 rows. I read that just in a terrible way, but just ignore that. I'm still getting back used to this YouTube reading thing. Uh, to get the -12, it's 4 plus the combat instances times 4. So just to get the maximum amount, it just kind of like you don't really need all that much effort. I mean, all you need to do is just get into combat once, and you immediately get all your stacks, which is very insane. So yeah, he does get -12 to all stats, and then +14 to all stats for every foe in 3 columns and 3 spaces. Again, uh, it's basically +5 times 3, a maximum of 14. So once again, you just need to enter combat like once, and then you just get +14 to all stats for free. This is just if anything attacks in combat. Pretty sure. Yeah, this is just any just attacks on any side, I'm pretty sure. So that is just -12 +14 to like all stats immediately for free, basically. And then he gets a 30% damage reduction for first hits, brave attacks included, and then also nullifies guard and plus special plus plus special cooldowns. Yeah, that's something. And then with his special, he gets Ruptured Sky, attack speed finish, a unique B slot, and a inheritable new C slot. So for his B slot, gets a he gets a warping, which does not get blocked by anything. He gets pass just in his B slot for free, along with warping. Um, he does have a very unique warp where he can teleport to any and to an ally's 2 space range if they have entered combat, but if they didn't enter combat, he just normally just gets the warping two to allies in 2 spaces, and then he also reduces, well, not reduce, inflicts -5 attack speed defense if an ally is in 3 spaces of him. and then he also does damage with equal to 20% of his speed, which is going to be a lot, especially paired up with his special, which Ruptured Sky is pretty broken. Um, Attack speed finish also boosts up his special, which makes it pretty strong. And then he also gets 50% damage reduction piercing, which isn't lethality, but it's still pretty good. I wouldn't say it's you should run lethality over like something like Ruptured Sky, but if you do want the 100% damage reduction, I do think you can run lethality, but he also gets 7 damage reduction for every first hit, which also includes brave attacks. So he is pretty somewhat tanky. I wouldn't say he's like super tanky, but it's enough that I don't think desperation is necessary for him. So he can just automatically get like later on he tanks some hits, which tanking stuff on Faye on a Faye trailer is kind of just very inaccurate in my opinion. But still, I think it is something to be able to. It is a good starting point on seeing how well they can tank stuff. He is an offensive unit, so tanking isn't really super needed, especially since we have desperation effects pretty easily right now. Pulse smoke is kind of. I don't think I don't have a thing for pulse smoke because it's not a unique special and unique skill or stuff like that. But pulse smoke just basically gives you a guard. It also gives you stat debuffs and it also gives a scout effect unit for the unit during player phase, which is pretty interesting. And then later, here he is killing the deer god himself. I can skip that. And then Ruptured Sky just activates twice because it's it's a two cooldown. It's a 2 turn cooldown. It's a 2 cooldown special, so it's pretty easy to proc. And then here he just getting yeah. This is the range of him, his warping, which is really insane. Uh, Here he just tanks Zelgius. I think he takes like 8 damage twice, and then just yeah 8 damage, and then just immediately hits back with Ruptured Sky. But yeah, this is legendary Shez. Basically, not legendary, but basically Emblem Celica fusion danced with like legendary, well, not legendary female Shez. I don't think he is legendary female Shez. I think he is a little different. I mean, he does share the same like movement type and weapon type, but I think he's pretty unique in his that he can be separated, but not enough to be separated from Emblem Celica, I don't think. But this banner is also very. I would say this banner is pretty. It's not good, but it's not terrible either. Like I'm gonna skip over to these heroes. I would say the red pool is very good. It is you're definitely pulling on the reds. For colorless, it's probably the worst colors. I mean, you do have the close counter of the bonus doubler, but besides that, I don't. And you also have a supportive damage reduction piercing, but that is very not needed compared to like all the other ways of getting damage reduction, piercing, and all that stuff. And Arvel is just he's just there, I guess. He doesn't really I don't think he's good in any way, shape, or form now with the current meta. The blues are also very okay. I mean the only thing saving them is Freyr. He's just making the value go up a lot. And for the greens, and for the greens, it's also very like there's only like two people I think very that's like old. I mean, you could make an argument that Nurgle also has fallen off somewhat, but I think he's still pretty strong. He definitely does help. Shez, not Shez, but Alir is also very just not that. I think her special damage piercing isn't that good anymore, especially since you need it's a very conditional. You need to be in like two spaces of a support ally, I'm pretty sure. And Robin just he's a grand strategy I don't think is very all that useful anymore. I think it's still good in some specific niche teams, but besides that, he's not really good. And for the Reds, of course, the Reds are like there's Emblem Ike, which just drives the value of any banner up. Lumera being a rearmed unit is also very high value, especially since she's an infantry unit. And Shez is just there as the main character of this banner. So, is Shez good? Yes, I think he is good with his emblem Celica warping. His emblem ring. If you really wanted to, you can just probably just run either Celica to get even more warping, or if you really think you should, maybe emblem Ike just to get like his damage reduction from ranged foes. Yeah, that's he's a pretty good unit, I think. Yeah.